What's going on? Today is March 31st. I'm going to be going over today's price action and as well as the one trade that I took today. So the one trade that I took today resulted in me having a $493 loss, which is fine. I managed my risk well, and losses are just part of the statistic. And this is a little bit of a setback, but losses happen, and it's totally fine. So I'm going to be going over the one trade I took today. So looking at the higher time frame, right, I noticed that we were trending higher. We still hadn't taken out this data high, and then we had this 4-hour unfilled above, right? So scaling down to the 15-minute, I saw that we had this low inside of this 15-minute fair value gap, and then we also had these equal lows down here that lined up with London low. So originally, I did kind of want to take shorts, right, down to these equal lows and London lows, but I should have realized that this data high was still very high probability for price to come take out, and price did look bullish on the higher time frames, right? So longs probably should have been my bias for today, and that would have helped me to avoid this loss. But you live and you learn, and yeah. So I just gotta realize where my mistakes happened, and then understand that I need to not make these same mistakes again, right? So coming into the day. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see these relative equal highs get swept, right? Take out this high inside of this 15-minute fair value gap, and then us deliver off of that 15-minute fair value gap lower to at least this low inside this 15-minute fair value gap, but full TP at these equal lows below, right? Um, so what happened was we opened up immediately, right? We come and take out these relative equal highs, just as I wanted to see, right? We take out these relative equal highs inside of this 15-minute fair value gap, and now I want to see price deliver from this area, right? I want to see price deliver out of this 15-minute fair value gap and deliver lower to come take out these low inside of this 15-minute fair value gap, right? So that's what I wanted to see off open. We also created an SMT with ES at these highs, so I got that sweep that I wanted to see. We swept out this buy side, and then we also swept out these relative equal highs, as well as the high inside the 15-minute, right? Plus an SMT. So everything was kind of lining up, and I thought this would be a great opportunity. I saw that we had this 1 minute fair value gap right here, and then we got this 1 minute inversion with incredible displacement through it, right? So this was enough for me to enter a short position, and that's what I did. I entered a short position with my stops above this inversion candle body. And then I was targeting full TP at the equal lows and London low, right? I wanted to take partials at this low inside of this 15-minute, and then I wanted to go break even at this low right here. And then this resulted in me just getting immediately stop hunted and stopped out, right? And price wanted to continue bullish. So I took that loss, and I realized that my emotions would probably start to come into play. I would want to revenge trade. I would want to take another trade to get back the losses. I thought that this was an A-plus setup, and I realized that. So I was journaling. I journaled down the loss. I journaled down my emotions, and I realized that I didn't need to take another trade for the day, right? Losses are part of the statistic. I still thought that this was a great trade. I still do think it was a great trade. It just went against the overall bias for the day, right? So I should have understood that this data high was very high probability to come get taken out. We also had previous New York AM high, and price was trending bullish on the higher time frame, right? So I should have just realized that all these things and understood that I should have been okay fading this 1 minute inversion and letting price play out and building more structure to the upside. It was also 2 minutes after market open, right? So I still needed to take some time and let price create some structure and give me a more a better narrative to where price wanted to go for the day, and give me a little bit more structure, right? So that's kind of what I saw. After this, price kind of just ended up trailing for a minute, and then we end up pushing higher, right? So at this point, I just realized that my bias was wrong. I wanted to see short tapping off open, but that just didn't happen. Price wanted to come push up towards this data high at this point, and so I just sat out. I sat out of the market. I let the market kind of do its thing. And then eventually, ES already took out data highs, so we also had an SMT. And I also saw this 4-hour unfilled fair value gap that price was trending towards, right? So I wanted to see this 4-hour come get taken out eventually, as well as a sweep of these data highs, right? And I saw some people take this short down to this unfilled 5 minutes, right? So we created an unfilled 5-minute right here. And we got a 2-minute inversion plus an SMT, but we did just leave these data highs below alone, right? And I still was convicted. This obviously I wasn't going to take this, but I mean this short looked okay, right? You get a 2-minute inversion, we're SMT'd, data highs, and then we also did have 10 a.m. high impact news, right? So 10 a.m. high impact news. And this short you would have gotten wrecked, right? Price did want to come up and take out this data high, which we did, and then we also created another data high as well with this 10 a.m. high impact news, right? So data high as well, 10 a.m. high impact news. So now at this point, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to continue taking longs to this unfilled 4-hour gap, I'd want to see price rebalance and tap into this 5-minute. So we play out price a little bit more. We understand that we do get a tap into the 5-minute. Now, what you could have taken was what I saw some people take was this 3-minute, right? So we opened up a 3-minute for value gap. We're delivering from the 5-minute. We still have this unfilled 4-hour above that ES did tap into, but I still thought that the NQ would have tapped into it as well. But we did open up a 15-minute fair value gap right as this 3-minute ends up getting inversed, right? So you can see 3-minute gets inversed, but we open up the 15-minute fair value gap below, so I didn't think that this was high probability. I thought we opened up this 15-minute, price is going to want to come rebalance itself before we move higher, right? So some people took this 3-minute inversion, and you would have gone break even at this data high, which is a great break even point, right? But it would have most likely failed, right? So you might have been able to get break even, depending on what your rules would have been. But if you did enter on this 3-minute inversion to the upside, odds are you probably had your stops below this distribution candle, targeting this unfilled 4-hour with break even at this high. And you probably would have gotten stopped out. You could have gotten, honestly, probably would have gotten break even, to be honest. You could have gotten break even at this internal high, and then you would have gotten stopped out. So at this point, I'm still thinking we want to come up into this 4-hour fair value gap, but now we created this 15-minute that we opened up, and I would want to see price come rebalance itself. And then some people did take this short, right, after we swept out this high. You get this 1-minute inversion right here, targeting this 15-minute low, or this 15-minute unfilled fair value gap. So this was okay as well. Not my favorite, but this would have been okay as well, and I'm pretty positive that this would have played out, right? You could have gotten break even right here, and yeah, it would have played out. So that was okay. I just wasn't taking anything else for the day, right? I took my loss. There's no reason to try to make back my losses and risk taking another loss and setting myself down back to the starting point of drawdown on my eval, right? So there was just no point for me to take anything else. And then after that, you can see that we just continue to keep trading lower, and that's where we are right now, right? So we traded through this 15-minute. We also had another 15-minute right here that we're still reacting off of. If we do get a close below this 15-minute, I could see us coming down and taking out these equal lows and this low inside this 15-minute, right? But if we deliver off of that 15-minute, we could look to rebalance ourselves and push up higher to come tap into this unfilled 4-hour, right? So just something to keep in mind, but I'm off for the day. It's already 11 a.m. I took my loss, which, I'm just going to learn from, right? So all my confluences did align. I still think it was pretty A+, to be honest, but I just got to understand that the higher time frame narrative was bullish and that we did want to see these data highs come get taken out, right? So just got to understand the higher time frame, understand where we're delivering from, understand where price what price wants to use it to be a magnet to pull itself in either direction, which in this case it was that data high using us to pull price more bullish, right? So just something to keep in mind. I'm not too upset with the loss. I still think this was probably a 50-50 trade either way. Every trade's a coin flip, obviously, but in this case, it was definitely 50-50, just with the bias being bullish, right? So Just got to understand that I need to take into account the higher time frame bias, you know, more than I did this morning. I journaled this trade heavily, journaled my emotions heavily, and I'm just glad that I didn't end up revenge trading or trying to force anything back to make back my losses or mitigate my losses as well. So losses happen. A little bit of a setback, but that's totally fine. We've still got more trading days this week. There's always more trading days, and yeah, just not going to dwell on this loss too much. Going to journal it, obviously, learn from the loss, and be back tomorrow for another trading day, right? So, yeah, that's going to be all from me today. I will be back for another backtesting session, and then obviously for the rest of the trading week this week. So, that's going to be it for me.